Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. This is my favorite part of the entire show. John Traver, the Chief Executive Officer of Traver Connect, is with us. What a great honor to have John Traver. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Ted, my friend, it is great to be on another TED Talk with you, watching you put this thing together these years. 175 of these panels and speakers. And we have a special guest with us today, Stephen. The Stephen. Am I right, Ted?
You are meeting the intern right now, Stephen Hackbarth. I mean, John Traver. So great.
Yeah, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this today. I'm really excited to learn from you, one of the best in the industry. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
So glad to have you. Yeah.
Steve, I don't know if you have anything you'd like to ask John to get things started today.
Yeah. So John, as a true pioneer and an innovator in service BDC, and when I was working in a dealership last summer, I found that it was one of the biggest areas of improvement. So I wanted to ask you, as a mover and shaker in the industry, how do you define the role of service BDC compared to the last, 5 and 10 years to what it looks like now?
Yes, I'm glad, Stephen, that you observe its role, and I'm also excited to see how it's evolved. Its role should be always closely tied to the consumer. And so as those needs evolve, then what we're doing should evolve with it. Some of the things that have changed, my friend, over these last, say, 5 to 10, like you just asked, service schedulers. We have more of them, what they're able to do. Some of the things that haven't changed, customers still call. Did you notice that when you were in the store? You have all these tools, all this tech, and yet people keep calling. Um, Frustration, anxiety with the consumer in the initial part of the process, that still is there. There's a need for retention. So our approach to that, and how we're going to go get and bring those vehicles in, you see people like Ed Roberts, Jim Sambino going out and getting vehicles, bringing them to service. But all those things are tied to retention, and they're tied to what the consumer wants. So long as you water ski there, you're going to be upright. You might get a little wet, but you're going to enjoy the ride. So, high level, that's what I would say to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's incredible.
Great way to get started. John, I'm going to turn the reins over to you, and the show, John Traver, is yours.
Well, Ted, thank you. Always a pleasure to run with you and work towards contributing to the next show. And here we are, wrapping up January of 26 already. And, what does our navigation look like this year? Well, first, I'd be remiss if I skipped your theme. Your themes, Ted, really continue to push the envelope. I'm not sure who this dude is, but the getup is something, man. Especially the hole in the T-shirt there. Grunge galore, man.
John,
Guys,
you are looking good. You are in your element. I like that. Yeah.
Ted, let's keep you away from the optometrist. If that is good, I will take it and run. So, team, I began to think about what each of you are doing as you're leading your organizations, as you're working your way into 26. Guiding principles certainly came to mind for me. I start by thinking about, just like Stephen and I just spoke about in BDC world for service, what's important. I think about your world. You're thinking about margins, maybe some of the compression you're dealing with. You're thinking about customer retention. You maybe winning there, you might be behind the curve there. Customer experience. You're looking at CSI or net promoter scores, and you're saying, gosh, how do we improve here? How do we make it hard to not do business with us? Technicians, you might be battling that deep need. I mean, we're really nothing without our technicians, right? We can sell, we can market, but we have to actually do the repair, do the maintenance. And then productivity. These are all big things that are probably in front of you, big rocks, if you will, for 26. And so what I want to do is build some value here for you, if I can, and just share with you 3 guiding principles, 3 keys to, let's say, Ted, rocking out, right, in 26. So we need the instrument.
John, on theme as always. I love it.
Hey, we got to. So you got to have tools of the trade. So in this case, we're talking instruments. I had three for you today. One is going to be reality, and I'm going to unpack that in just a second. Two is what we'll call VFR, IFR. And some of you will know what I'm talking about as soon as I bring it up. And then three is incentives. Those are the big three. I sense that if you'll visit with me on these three today, you can further develop the business you have, business development, into 26 and beyond. More on and beyond in just a second. So let's start with that first one, reality. What was the old movie? It was kind of a war movie. Reality, was it Tom Berenger who said, reality, I am reality? You kind of remember that scene, Ted? Was it the big red one or something like that? Yeah, so reality is really important. And what I want to say is this, you have a lot going on in this industry today. AI. There are some that are just sort of blind or deaf to AI. Mobile service. There are some that I hear in our Experience Matters courses here at Traver say, look, we have vans that are parked. We've tried this. So the question is, what's real? What's true? Is our attitude right? Is our outlook right? And I just want to start with, let me do an illustration. There's Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, jumping off the building. I think that was was that the Saudi Arabian one where he's overseas there? I forget.
It could be. It looks like Steven actually in the Mission Impossible.
Steven, if you buy the aviators, I think we're off and running, buddy.
Awesome.
So the thing about jumping off a building is, there's a couple of things I remember my mom saying. If somebody jumps off a bridge, are you going to jump off the bridge? Well, I would say at 7 years old, of course not, Mom, right? The thing is, those that do jump off the bridge, they tell you what a wonderful view it is. And the problem is that 54th floor, when you jump, all's great at the 27th floor. But the problem is you're descending at an unknown speed, and there is an ending point. It's the splat at the end that we're all worried about. That's why reality is so important. When you do hear emphasis on change or evolution or innovation, you want to listen and you want to calibrate. So if we're having this conversation together, I would start out by saying what I'm sharing with you is we want to recognize what's true, what's actually happening, even especially maybe when we don't like it. So remember, gravity works no matter what. There are certain things right now that seem fine. I'll give you a couple examples. Service retention gaps. If you've had a gap and it's still there, or you got a CSI net promoter score issue and it's still there, or you're dealing with technician turnover. The thing is our field is shifting, everyone. It's shifting, it's evolving. Stephen, asking that question up front, saw the change in the service BDC in just a small amount of time in the industry. Certainly, when you sit in a seat for a long time, sometimes things all look the same, even when they change. Be careful, because there's only one person that can control your perspective, and it's you. So start with what's real this year as you walk into 26. That was the first point. There's a couple signs of reality. Warning sign. You have a 45% FSV is what we call it, first service visit retention. What does that mean? Gang, that should be at least 70%. It means you're losing half your customers. So there's the warning sign. You say, John, what do I do about it? Have your service BDC create an outbound FSV campaign, whether that's your team or somebody who you use. You want to have a minimum of 3 attempts made to the people that are due for service. You want to combine a digital outreach with live calls, not just one or the other. You want to have the cadence in between those opportunities measured properly, so it's not annoying, but it's not too far and spaced out where it's confusing. So that would be an example of reality in your world right now that might not be in your face, but it's happening. Another one is satisfaction. CSI is flat, maybe declining. You look at your OEM market and you say, man, we're trailing our region or our district. What that really means is we're falling behind on customer expectations. And so you go, what can we do? Again, I think you leverage your service BDC here, and you can chase CSI campaigns. Again, minimum of 3 attempts. Combine the digital with live. Let them know you just want to make sure they're taken care of. Gathering that intel can go a long ways, and it can also stop the clock on any heat that's building. Third would be If customers say nobody called me or didn't know, Ted, I watched how you open the show with video and the importance of video. Look, this is an example of communication gaps, and this is a threat to retention. Would you agree with that? Oh, I think you would. Yeah. Yeah. So what do? You implement short message service, which is texting, or MMS, which is multimedia, that's video.
Yep.
And you want to compensate the team for 100% usage. You kind of wrap this thing together. So these are examples of reality that's happening in the store. You begin to tighten up these areas, and you watch how things begin to change as you work your way into 26 and beyond. Okay, so reality. Number 2, VFR and IFR. What is that? Does anybody, Stephen, do you know what that is before I even go there? Do you happen
No,
to?
I'm not too familiar, so I'm excited to learn.
All right, well, you're going to have this because this is really a metaphor for guiding your way in business. V stands for visual. When you fly a plane, there are 2 modalities of flying a plane. There's visual flight rules, and those are things you can see, buddy. Those are things that are within your sphere of influence, and not just see, you can pick up on it in other ways too. You can feel, you can hear. IFR is your instruments. So when it gets real foggy, it's possible to fly a plane with just instruments. Probably not our goal, but it's possible. What does that have to do with business development? What does that have to do with the Fixed Ops Roundtable? What does that have to do with our partners here today as they guide their businesses? Well, it is a great way to zoom out and begin to look at how to navigate your way through this year. VFR, let me just set the stage real quick. VFR signals kind of a potential issue ahead, okay? I want to first say that even though it says visual, it's not only visual. If you've ever heard of the VAC concept, which is visual, auditory, kinesthetic, you can hear it, you can feel it. Okay, good. Ted, you're sort of affirming that. So the VAC applies here. Advisors seem stressed, or energy is flat. Stephen, have you been in an environment where you can pick up on that? Ted?
Absolutely.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
Right? So customers mention long wait times repeatedly. Uh-oh. Okay, that's a warning shot. Your best tech seems checked out, not mentoring anyone, not plugged into anyone. Techs are not busy after 2:30. You know, we promise to keep them busy, but we're not loading the shop. We're front loading the morning, even with a busy morning rush.
The advisors have stopped taking appointments after 1 o'clock, John.
Not ideal. Not ideal, right? So that's VFR. IFR would be things that you're going to see on your instruments. So these are, let's say, signals that can pre-warn you about turbulence. So your CSI is down, or your retention is down. Your advisor attachment rate is down. You got a bunch of single line ROs, but hours are up. So we're working harder, but we're selling less. Not ideal. Okay. And I'm not advocating that we're overselling, but there's more work in the drive than we can probably turn a wrench to in most cases, right? If we're doing multi-point inspections the way we should, and we're letting the consumer know, and we're letting them decide, there's plenty of work in front of us. Tech productivity could be declining. Maybe flagged hours per tech is down. Advisor turnover up. So these are all examples of signals. You have this data. It's being given to you. So the second tip is use your IFR and VFR tools to be able to navigate, right? So real quick recap, the visual, remember VAC, right? Visual, not just see, but hear and feel. Customer frustration, advisor tech needs, team energy, and then intuition. All those things will guide you through the year. Some of you are incredible coaches. You have a sense and a presence when you're in front of your people. Duplicate that. Find ways to hire more people around you like that. And those that don't have that skill, you want to develop, and then you also want to hire for that. IFR, CSI, Net Promoter Score, retention percentage. These are all data points, productivity, and turnover. Those would be 4 big ones that are going to be in front of you. So the second tip I would have quickly for you today, use your tools to navigate. But the real message is this: you need both. Some of us lean heavy on one and we're light on the other. Always look for internal and external orientation. That's why I put it in here. Okay.
Yep.
Last is incentives. Munger would always say, he had so many great one-liners, but he would say, show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. So true.
You walk into a store and you say, gosh, these are some of the things that are going on here. I guarantee you there's an incentive tied to it somehow, some way. When a business grows, you're going to find that incentive pay guides it. So when you walk into any store, any operation, and you deal with problems like undersold ROs, one-line ROs, poor CSI, tech burnout, low retain, whatever, you know what I would say? Check the pay plan. Check the pay plan. It's not too late to make sure your incentives are aligned and juiced. Does that make sense? If you don't like the outcomes from 25, check your incentives. So those big three, I'm going to kind of tie these together here, but let me give you a couple quick examples of incentives. Let's say you have low CSI, high upsell complaints from consumers. How are we paying? Are we paying everything on gross? Maybe. That may be tunnel vision. It's just sell, baby. And the house is burning down. How do you fix that? Break it up. Now, I am not here to be your accountant or your pay plan commissar, but I want to just show you, here's an example of a pay plan that is sort of trifurcated. 40% is weighted on retention, 30% is on gross, 30% is on, call it satisfaction or process. Okay. What this does is it changes the advisor focus to being more consultative. Ted, you're going to say something.
No, I'm John, look at the pay plan and you'll, like Charlie says, you'll know the outcome.
Absolutely. It is a great guide. And sometimes we sleep on this a little bit. Another example real quick is, you got low appointment show rates from your BDC. Setting appointments, we got low show rates. BDRs are paid for scheduled appointments. You look at and you go, oh, wow, that doesn't do anything for us, right? Simple, pay for shows. And then what I would also do is have bonus tiers so that they realize there's a bigger share of the pie if they set 50 a month or a week or 100 or 150 or 200, like that. Have tiers, okay? Another one real quick is high turnover, low quality. So service advisor pay is maybe 20% below market. This is easy to fix. You benchmark it, you hire better people, CSI climbs, retention climbs, profit climbs, but you're going to find that one internally there with your pay. So incentives matter. Recapping, reality, start there. What's happening in our world? VFR, internal and external view of our shop and our organization. Incentives, how are we paying? Now, let me tie it all together in sort of a bow here, all right? Because I said and beyond. Ted, you remember I did say that, right?
Yes, you did say that. And beyond, yes.
And beyond. And we're not talking, Buzz Lightyear here. We're talking and beyond. So let me just talk a little bit. Let's go to the stock market. Stephen, are you in the stock market yet?
Yes, I do. Right. I do make quite a few trades.
All right. Well, let me tell you one thing about trades. Trades are interesting. Investing is a whole nother game. So let me just say this. We're going to look at this particular stock. From September of 2018 to September of 2019, I'm not a stock trader, but I want to say this. This looks like a stock that might have had its best day. It might be time to revisit our investment in this stock or our position in this stock. I mean, if we're just looking based on the data, would you guys agree with me that this thing is sort of cycled downward? Fair statement?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. And so here's a stock from 2018 to 2026. And what's really weird is this stock is riding, it's like this perpetual up and to the right ride. Yeah, granted, I see a hiccup in there, but very interesting. What's also interesting is this is the same stock. And this stock had a 4-to-1 split in 2021, right there at the 1/3 mark. And it had a 10-to-1 split in 2024. Wow. You guys want to take a guess? Yes. Now, what's my point? My point is, as you set out this year, and you start with those three rules to navigate into 26, it's easy to become myopic about 2026 when in fact we should be thinking about 2032 and what we're doing in 2026 that moves us to a new place in 2032. Um, there are many ways to think of this, but I would just say this quickly. Remember it, I call it the 1 versus 5 rule. And this is, Ted, I can't do one of these without a Drucker quote, right? I love Peter
Oh,
Drucker.
I'm
Yeah,
waiting for it to come.
yeah. People often overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year. That's what I'm trying to say. But they greatly underestimate what they can do in 5. Stephen,
Mm.
your question at the beginning. We didn't have a conversation before today, did we?
No, not at all.
And you didn't tell me that question was coming, did you?
Nope.
And do you see how this ties right to your question?
Yeah, exactly. It's so
Direction, direction. So Ted, I want to share something with you. We have invested in deploying virtually through a new learning and development platform over the past year,
Okay.
um, a series of courses. We have an immersion series and
Wow.
we have a coaching series. And so those that are interested, they can reach out on coaching and immersion. We're sharing a lot of how we do what we do, and also playing a role in bringing people up to speed. This is an example of our BDR series for stores that have their own
Look at
BDCs
this.
and
Good
meet.
look. Good looking, John. I'm already on board. I like this a lot.
Joe Clemente has led this. Joe is an incredible people coach, and the library is deep. There's a lot of courses, and stores basically sign up for credit hours. They have a certain amount of credit hours each month, and off and away we go. And that's
Go back
all
to
kind of
that
part of
QR
development.
that QR code, John Traver. If I scan
Yes,
that,
sir.
that'll take. All right. So if our audience
That'll
has their phone handy, if they're watching on a desktop or laptop, if you open your camera and scan that, that'll take us right there. Okay.
That's right. That's right. So, as always, guys, I mean, direction is your friend. Where you're headed is your friend. Obviously, how we get there makes a big difference. But, Ted, as always, you make this an incredible environment for all of us to learn, to grow in, to get better in. And we just love the community that you call Fixed Ops Roundtable. So, thanks for leading so well.
I want to ask you a little bit more about your workshops that are coming up. I had a chance to sit in on one in Dallas last summer. I was very impressed with the caliber of people, the caliber of the questions they had, and the interaction they had with you, John Traver. Um, Here we are, already the end of the month, that first month of the year. John, I know you have some coming up. When's the next workshop in your office?
Thank you for asking. March is our next class, and there are still some seats. It's not a huge event. We do about
Yeah,
18 to 25 people.
sure.
So yeah, we would love to have you. We do them quarterly. Think of this as the best practices for service BDC in a dealership, whether you're a large dealer group or a single point store. How do we execute this? Everything from inbound, outbound, people, BDM, service management, shop loading, hours, and we chunk it into the 8 best practices that you got to have. And big workbook. We
Yeah,
give you all the content. And here's the best part: we write the check. We even have a fun time on Wednesday night. We take you to dinner. We got some entertainment. It's a great time, but it's just sort of our way of giving back in this space. And we've been able to build some pretty sweet friendships over the years through that type of event.
John, follow up. How long is the workshop?
Yes, it's Wednesday, and then we're done by noon on Thursday, so a day
Okay,
and a half. So
day and a
you
half.
fly in Tuesday night, and Monday we go. You don't just bring you fresh mind, and we got everything else covered. And by 2 o'clock, you're getting on a plane going home on Thursday.
I think that would be a great experience if you have room. What an amazing room it's in to have some of the Northwood students. Maybe have Steve lead that delegation and take maybe if you can fit another, one or two or three, have them come and see this close up and learn from the best and be able to experience this because I got a lot of it. And you also have amazing guest speakers. I happen to notice as well who come to that.
Yes,
that's
yes,
an amazing opportunity. I just want to say, like, some of the biggest takeaways for me is just about how intentional you are and how much direction you're focused on the next step ahead. And as a young person, and I know my peers share the sentiment, is that's really inspirational to know that leaders are not only are focused on coaching us, but are also focused on the future. That's just it's really great to know. So
Thank
thank
you
you.
for that. Yes. First of all, Ted, the door's open. Just have them reach out. Let us know. We'll make room. Stephen, your vocation matters. I say that to you, and I'd say it to anybody listening today. Your vocation matters. You're uniquely gifted. You're using your gifts in the marketplace. Your gifts benefit you, they benefit others. It works. It works. It's the right mindset.
Yeah.
Hmm.
John Traver, everybody, the father of the modern day BDC, the best in the industry. I refer my friends, colleagues, family to John Traver at Traver Connect. They are far above anything you could experience in the industry. TraverConnect.com. John Traver, a big part of our events. John, thank you for kicking things off here this morning and for taking us through. And John, I'm so excited about this year, what 26 is going to be, and for fixed ops. So thank you for all you and your great team. You don't just have, you know, you got the best players. You got the A team. They're working with you, John. So
The Bob Gowers, the Joe Clementes,
yeah,
the Ryan Cherokee eyes, the Kevin Ditmarsh, the Karen Russ, the Rebecca Jones, um, Sarah, Missy. I mean, there are some incredible people, and then behind the scenes, our tech team and the folks that help us do what we do. It's a lot of fun. So, thank you for recognizing them.
yeah, you got a great team. John Traver, everybody, CEO, Traver Connect. Visit them on the web, traverconnect.com. Sign up for the March class. We're going. We're going to be there, and looking
Love it.
forward to that. Looking forward to seeing you again. And thank you for all your
Likewise.
industry. So,
Likewise, Ted. Thanks again for this opportunity. Another incredible show.
John Traver, everybody, Traver Connect, here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.